So if you follow me on social media, and why wouldn't you? Shameless. Anyway, if you follow me outside of YouTube, you'll probably know that I was travelling last week in Hungary. We stayed on a boat in Budapest, and let me tell you, that city is fantastic. I would recommend it to anyone. The food was gastronomic, the architecture gorgeous, and the whole environment very cosmopolitan. We had a whale of a time. But that is not what I want to talk about today. What we're going to be talking about is what the entire world thinks of you. We're going to be doing a little experiment today using science to discover how you and your fellow countrymen are judged. And I'm probably going to insult whole nations of people in the process. So while I was out in Hungary, I was having dinner one evening with Mrs. Idden, and I was lecturing her on generalised socio and racial stereotyping across cultures, because I know how to woo a lady. We agreed that just about every single country on Earth has their own little stereotypes, and usually an unfair one. For instance, Americans are often branded as egocentric, the Irish are usually seen as drunk, and the British are usually tarred with the brush of being unfeasibly witty and devilishly handsome. But these stereotypes have got their own little biases because such grossly generalised opinions depend on who you're asking and what nationality they are. If only there was some kind of way or method or tool to strip out the subjectiveness and just get right to the root of our own global collective psyche. Oh yeah. So, as you probably already know, you go to Google, you type in a search string, and it will give you 4 search suggestions based on what everyone else was thinking and typed into Skynet before you came along. I went ahead and turned off all the personalised location settings to get as clean a result as possible, and then I went ahead and typed in stuff like this. So I did that for every single country on the planet, excluding the tiny little sovereign nations with populations so low they barely know they exist themselves. And let's face it, you never really hear phrases such as, "Man, those guys from Svalbard and Jan Mayen, they suck at folding laundry so bad." Once I figured out how to spell Ghanaian and solved the bizarre riddle of if someone from Nigeria is a Nigerian, then what is someone from Nigeria called? Then I took all that data and threw it into a spreadsheet. Some countries managed to fill out all 4 of their auto-search suggestions with different stereotypes, whereas others only had 1 and quite a few had no stereotypes come up. Now what I wanted to do is to take all of them, tabulate them somehow based on positivity and negativity, and then colour in an atlas to see if I could work out any kind of global trends. So I was running this all past my wife, and yes, this is how fun it is having dinner with me, and she predicted that the entire atlas would end up being coloured red. That Google would give me a different stereotype for every nation, but that they would all be negative stereotypes. She wasn't wrong. The only thing we did not predict, however, was that they were all, in fact, the same stereotype. Everyone else thinks everyone else is rude. Excluding the countries that didn't have any auto-suggested stereotypes, only 2 very surprising countries came out positively. I'll reveal those in a minute, but if you live in any of these countries, Google and the people who use it think you are rude. The second most common adjective to come up after being rude is also rather unfortunate. According to Google users, if you live in any of these countries, you are racist. You've got to admit, it's somewhat ironic that there are so many stupid people out there typing in dumb stuff like, "Ooh, all Croatians are racist," when what they're doing is actually searching for validation for their own sweeping generalisations of an entire country full of individuals. But hey, welcome to the internet. Anyway, on to the bit you have probably been waiting for. How did your country do? I don't think I have any viewers in the Federated States of Micronesia, so I'm just going to stick to the main countries you're watching from as dictated to me by YouTube Analytics. So first up we've got America. You actually filled all 4 search suggest boxes here. Unfortunately they're not great, but stick with me here. The first one was rude. Don't worry about that, as discussed. Everyone got that, so put that to one side, that's fine. You got arrogant as well, sorry, and you also got annoying. But you came up with, for the fourth one, Americans are not stupid. So that was the only instance we had of a negative adjective prefixed with a not. So if we put aside accusations of the lady protesting too much, then that's a win, right? Kudos. Okay, Canadians! You guys also hit all 4 boxes. And they could be worse. You guys got weird, nice, boring, and afraid of the dark. You're also one of the very few who did not get rude, so again, kudos to you guys. Okay, Iceland. I have no idea why, and it's actually news to me, but apparently I've got quite a few viewers in Iceland. Goda kveldi. So you guys got racist, rude, but you also got beautiful and kooky. I can't think of any reason why that would be the case. And I guess I best do Britain. Nobody mentions dental care, which is a plus. And we also, one of the first things that came up was British are the best! Yes! I win the internet! Sadly, you have to take that with a pinch of salt because apparently the British are also wrong about everything. We also got British are boring. I don't get that one. I spent hours putting the spreadsheet together and I couldn't find anything within the scientific data to explain such a correlation. The last one we got was the British are coming. Nope. Barely even breathing hard. And to close off, let's do some of the more notable results. Excuse me while I read these off the document in front of me here. The Irish only had 1 auto-search suggest stereotype. The Irish are impervious to psychoanalysis. Russians are rude, the scariest white people, and badass. Maltese are hypoallergenic. Oh, and also the best dog breed. That makes sense. That makes sense. And as I mentioned earlier, there were 2 rather surprising countries that only got positive results. They each got 1 search suggestion, one of them being beautiful and the other being good looking. They were Ethiopia and Syria. So that's about it. I could go on all day, but I want to finish off with a very important note. Don't forget that this little experiment, and by extension the video you just watched, isn't for the purposes of cementing racial stereotypes. It's actually to prove how silly it is to sum up an entire nation of people just with an adjective, especially when everyone around the globe thinks the same thing about you. Give this video a thumbs up if you believe that travel broadens the mind, and make sure you stamp out ignorance wherever you find it. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys, and if I didn't mention your country, then I apologise. Let me know where you live, and for entertainment purposes, I'll let you know what Google thinks of you. Do also feel free to share this on your Facebook wall or whatever, because it'd be really funny to see if you have any friends that miss the point of the video completely and show off their own inner racist in their comments. Look out for anything like lol, roffle, yeah, but what he said about Canadians is actually true, and then you can delete them and thank me later. Zika Dunn has got a YouTube channel, you should probably subscribe. It's not just videos of me talking about stuff, so you might find something you like.